Hello, my wellness friends. This is AJ Webb, your SLV Health Wellness Coordinator, and I am here with another installment of the Complete 5K project, and we are talking about what happens during a training session. Disclaimer. Do not use this information as medical advice. Instead, see your own family doctor for care. The opinions expressed do not represent the opinions of SLV Health. So it's been my observation in personal training, group training, and sports in general that individuals that really don't know what to expect with some kind of a practice or a training session, it can kind of freak them out. Do I need to bring this? Do I need to bring that? Oh, what are we be doing? And I wanted to talk a little bit about how we are going to conduct ourselves as a training group during this C25K, this complete 5K training project, so that you know what to expect. If you've been a little leery, because I don't know what they're going to be doing, if they're going to be sprinting, and will people be throwing up, and will there be all this crazy wildness, I'm going to break it down for you and look at the different components of it so that you're feeling comfortable and you can come run with us and you can have a good time, and we'll all get super fit and be able to run this 5K. So the 5K, let's talk about this training timeline here. So we are in mid-July right now, almost at the end of it, and we'll be running this 5K in early September. September the 8th, it is the Potato Festival in Monte Vista. It's a walk run, so say we're running, but we're going to be completing this 5K and not doing so in a way and not training for it in a way that's going to ruin your life and get you hurt. That's ideally what's going to happen. Now, the application that we're using is the C25K app. It is a free application on Android and Apple devices, and what it does is it prescribes 3 workouts a week for 8 weeks leading up to your 5K. We're going to talk a little bit about what those workouts look like, and I'll make some suggestions if 3 workouts a week isn't going to do it for you, or you might have some kind of a foot injury or some other thing going on that is going to keep you from actually making these running or walking sessions. I misspoke in a previous video and said that we would be meeting at Cole Park. We're going to change this up, and we are going to meet at the PS Clinic parking lot, right? So get yourself changed. Thursdays at 5:30, we're going to be doing one of the 3 training sessions for the week using the C25K app. Here are the remaining dates, so you can block those out on your calendar if you're able to make them. So we'll be running in the parking lot. We may sneak over to a grassy area, but we'll talk about that each day. But meeting at the PS Clinic, that's what you're going to want to do. Now, these are some of my suggestions, right? It's not a performance-based group. This is about camaraderie and support, right? The whole point, we're not trying to go to the Olympics here. We are trying to complete this 5K in a way that doesn't make our life worse via injury, embarrassment, and not that it's embarrassing not to finish these things, but really we're just getting together to train a little bit for this event. And so this is what I would encourage you to bring. Bring yourself, right? Bring a water bottle because you might get thirsty. You might get a little cotton mouth because it is pretty warm. It's been muggy too. Maybe a rain jacket, something. But bring something for yourself to drink. Bring a towel. I'm a sweaty fella. I kind of turned into a snail, so it's nice for me to have a towel. And if you can muster up a positive attitude, bring that. And if you can't, that's fine. Bring it too. And maybe someone else can pick you up, or we will collectively cry about and dislike running together, and then that's fun. We can all gang up on it and we'll be better for it, right? So some things I don't want you to worry about, some things I'd encourage you to ignore or be oblivious to. Don't worry about what shape you're in. Nobody cares, right? We're all a bunch of working type folks, and maybe we've got a fitness background in the past, but we are what we are. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about how fast you are, right? There's a lot of
you throw out compliments. Hey, good job. Oh, I could do it so much faster if I was, don't worry about that stuff. Don't worry about how fast you are. Don't worry about how silly you think you look running, okay? And if people are going to see you, big deal, right? You're working on yourself. You're working with a group of folks that are trying to get better, and that's a good thing. And anybody that wants to poke any fun at that, they can go pound sand. And in the training group, everyone's working, right? And nobody is concerned about. Everybody is too busy suffering on their own to judge you. Okay, so what's a training format look like? So let's imagine we're all there. 5:30 p.m. rolls around and everybody is ready to roll. So I run everyone through a dynamic warm-up. Now, if you got your own thing, you got your own special way that you like to warm up, go ahead and go do that. You don't have to listen to me. I have brought this warm-up kind of cobbled together through my experiences as an athlete, as a coach of group personal training classes, and I've gotten some input on some folks from physical therapists and orthopedic surgeons and folks that really know the body that this is not a bad way to go about it. And I will explain that warm up in a little bit more detail in a separate video. But you can expect for the first 10 to 15 minutes to be doing some hacky sack walks and some toy soldier kind of things where you're kind of kicking up. And the idea is we're going to take this 10 or 15 minutes to limber you up, right? We're going to recapture some ranges of motions dynamically, and we're going to do a few things that are going to activate your body pieces, right? Get those muscles that are going to be helpful for us in regards to running to fire up, right? Sometimes we sit all doggone day, and those things get put to sleep, and then we go and run, and we haven't quite woken them up yet. So that's what this 10 to 15 minute session. There is some technique work in there that I build in, and that's to get your software, your brain place, talking to your hardware, your body place. And by spending a little bit of time practicing running, practicing and treating running as a skill, the idea is you're going to be able to move yourself through space more efficiently, right? Without really having to process energy better, or really be, you're going to get some low-hanging fruit via some of these techniques. And again, if you're not interested in those techniques, you got the way you run, that's fine. It's not going to hurt my feelings. Don't worry about me. So then we get into the workout, and the workouts will change as we go through the program. Okay. In my observation, these are work-rest interval workouts. Okay, where you spend a certain amount of time in a higher intensity effort, and then a certain amount of time in a lower intensity effort. And since we're talking about walking and running, how this thing started out for this first week is you start out 5 minutes of a brisk walk. So I just kind of treated that as a speed walk when I was doing it. I just kind of pumped those arms and moved, and I tried to elevate my heart rate just a little bit, move a little bit faster than I would normally if I was strolling through the park. After that, what it's going to do is it's going to give you, and it spells everything out for you, it's going to give you a set of work and rest intervals. So for this week, it was run for 1 minute, rest for 1.5 minutes, and we repeated that 8 times, right? So it gives you some sweet little cues in the app. Hey, you're halfway, and some other encouraging things. But that's what you can look forward to in these workouts, is you're going to be putting out a little bit of a higher intensity effort, right? So you're running, you're jogging, you're going at a pace that is good for you, and then you start walking, right? And so in this case, it was a 1 to 1.5 ratio, which is pretty good for recovery. You get an opportunity to catch your breath. So the way I conducted myself through these workouts is I really focused on technique, this pose method technique, which I'll link to and we'll talk about more as this project keeps going. I really focused on my running technique while I was running, even when it sucked and it hurt and I didn't want to do it anymore. I really worked to just not default into some mess of an ogre lumbering down the field. I focused on that technique. And when rest came, I didn't put my hands on my knees. I stood up tall. I pulled in air to my body, and I began to recover and get myself ready. This gave me nice little mental breaks, okay, so that I could say, all right, that 1 minute's done. 7 more of these. Breathe and recover. And that was a manageable way for me to make micro goals throughout the workout, and these are things that help me, right? I like the fact that I get to stop eventually. And as we build our capacity, hopefully my attitude and my physical capabilities will change, right? After you do that 20-minute of run-walk intervals, you finish up with 5 minutes of a cool-down walk. After that, I run you through a 5-minute cool-down stretch, right, where we're going to hit some very basic stretches, feet out to the sides, down to the left, down to the right. And what that's going to do is it's going to help start the recovery process. Your body's going to be heated up, okay? And that's a good time, the way I understand it, that is a good time to start mobilizing yourself, to start recapturing some ranges of motion that we get all stuck and sticky in as we sit in our desks all day, okay? So that's what that looks like. Hopefully that's nothing too scary. If you've ever been to any kind of a sports practice, it kind of feels like that, except for there's no one that's mad at you, all right? Everyone's just there working, doing the best that they can, and I am there to guide, coach, help, whatever it is that you need from me in whatever different capacity. Now, other recommendations are spell recommendations correctly, turn off your email when you're making videos, and I'd really encourage you not to try and cram your hydration, right? 3 o'clock rolls around, oh man, I got to drink 2 bottles of water. If you can, stretch that throughout the day, and if you can get in a big glass of water when you first wake up, that's going to help the fluids of your body moving stuff and things around, and you will feel better during your workout. My strategy, I have a 52-ounce Bubba keg. Okay, I drink one between 8 and 12. I drink another between 12 and 5, and that's a pretty good amount of water. I also drink a cup of water first thing in the morning. This isn't including my coffees, teas, and things like that. Okay, so drink some water. If you're the type to get lightheaded and woozy when you work out, consider having a piece of fruit and some almonds or some kind of snack before you come, okay? One thing that'll happen is, it's been my observation, again in personal training, is people that are maybe getting started out and working out, they'll get going and they're, all right, and then their body says, okay, we got to make all this kind of energy, and then there's not any fuel. You had the last meal at lunch, and maybe you had a snack a little bit, at 2 o'clock or something like that, but you may not have fuel, and having an apple, my favorite's a banana and a handful of almonds. That's a good way to keep me from getting woozy, lightheaded, turning into a ghost, and possibly evacuating any other food that's inside of me. Just some of my observations, but I'd encourage you to think about that and to figure out what works best for your body. If you need a snack, if you don't, you need a snack. Last thing, second to last thing, but one of the most important things, just leave your ego in the car. Don't bring an ego out that says, I have to go fast, that I have to do this, that, I'm not going to let so-and-so beat me. Just take your experience for what it is, and if the outcome's not what you want it to be, that's okay, okay? Don't get yourself hurt because you needed to push through something, and don't disappoint yourself because, this should have been this way, or anything like that, right? Just go, have fun, kind of be in the moment. It's an opportunity to escape work and just breathe hard for a little bit. And it's difficult to leave those things, but if you can leave your ego, you can leave a little bit of that baggage in the car, you're going to have a better experience. Last thing, investing in your recovery. I used to think it's all about how hard you go in the gym. And there is value to intensity in the gym and on the track and jumping around and, practice or whatever it is that you're doing for performance and sport and things like that. There is value in that intensity that you put into stuff. However, you got 23 more hours during a single day. And those 23 hours need to have some solid recovery plans built into them, specifically around hydration and nutrition. All right, I'm going to do some more videos about these topics so that we can start to learn what's a good way for us to figure out what's going to fuel us best for a 5K, for that quote, that race day. Okay. And then if you have the opportunity, I got small kids, it makes it really tough, but we really work to make it a priority in my house. Get yourself a good night's sleep. Turn that phone off an hour before you go to bed, those screens off. You can even reference back to some of these tips and tactics from Sam Valdez, the Sandman, who is our sleep technologist. That's what I have for you, so don't be afraid of these training sessions. They're not going to be too bad. They're not going to be scary or anything like that. Come, have a good time, check your ego, take care of yourself, and we'll all get just a little bit fitter so we can complete this 5K. Thanks, everybody.